Welcome to Candlestick Park in San Francisco, California for this Monday night affair between the all-time Pittsburgh Steelers and all-time San Francisco 49ers. DeBock alongside Focasano. Away we go. Top two teams in the league colliding tonight from Candlestick. Antonio Brown on the kickoff return for the Steelers all the way out to the 18. That brings onto the field for the Steelers Ben Roethlisberger. What a story. A rookie in 2004, eventually winning Rookie of the Year honors, winning the Super Bowl for the Steelers the following season. Big Ben, quite a potent resume for the Steelers, being the number one quarterback.
Absolutely, and this guy has shown that he can win, and not just win, but win Super Bowls. He's got two under his belt, and they're the number one seed in the AFC, Danny, this year, so it's going to be fun.
Roethlisberger on first down, rifles for John Stallworth on the connection. Look at the Steelers starting offense, which includes Franco Harris, Antonio Brown, one of the flankers for the Steelers, along with Johnny Stallworth. Lynn Swann also in the mix. And for a Steelers team, a lot of depth from many different eras.
Absolutely, and when you think of just an all-time Steelers team, you tend to think of defense first, that steel curtain, but how about that offensive line getting the blocks for Terry Bradshaw back in the day, as well as their running backs.
Roethlisberger goes deep, and the pass incomplete. A look at the San Francisco defense. Plenty of Hall of Famers involved, including that of Dave Wilcox, Patrick Willis, newly minted Hall of Famer, Jimmy Johnson, a part of the secondary, and Ronnie Lott, of course, for the 49ers. 3rd and 4 for the Steelers on their opening drive. Roethlisberger looks to throw on 3rd down. He has all day and throws an incompletion. That forces the Steelers to punt. Have our first look at the San Francisco offense. Jordan Berry on to punt for the Steelers. Berry boots it away. Fielded by Deion Sanders from the 35, and he is decked at the 37. Joe Montana, San Francisco 49er quarterback, winning 4 Super Bowl titles for his career, and there's good reason why he's called Joe Cool.
Absolutely, Danny. He goes out here, he never looks scared. He's always so cool under pressure. Expect him to have a lot of beautiful throws tonight.
Montana on first down. He sets up and throws for T.O. Key connection last week in the win against the Cardinals.
Yeah, and with Montana, he's not going to really impress you with his rifle of an arm, but they're just going to be lobbed up there right where the receiver needs to catch that ball, right in the hands.
49ers with a huge win against the Cardinals last week. Montana's pass is caught by Jerry Rice inside the 20. Rice down to the 14-yard line.
And expect a lot more of that, Danny. Montana to Rice. It's going to happen probably all game because he's going to get that first step right there off of the cornerback. And if you have a one-on-one with Jerry Rice, he's probably going to be in the open field. You have to double cover.
Quite a matchup between Jerry Rice and Mel Blount. We'll be watching that throughout the course of the evening. Frank Gore is decked. Jack Lambert in on the stop for the Steelers.
And Jack Lambert always coming in from the side. He's able to get that angle and quickly move towards the running back when he sees the ball being thrown.
2nd and 16. Rice in motion. Low snap. Montana scans. Jerry Rice on the catch. Gain of 4. Look at San Francisco starting offense, which includes the $1 million backfield. Frank Gore, though, is the lead tailback for San Francisco. Rice and Owens, the receivers for the 49ers. This is a heavily offensively tilted team.
And Frank Gore has been in the league for so long. He's been so sturdy and always so reliable.
3rd and 13. Back to throw Montana. He is decked and sacked. Rush caved in for the Steelers. A look at that spectacular defense. Where do you even begin? Jack Lambert, L.C. Greenwood, Mean Joe Green, Troy Polamalu. There are studs all over the place. Here is field goal unit on. Field goal attempt for Robbie Gould. This from 41 yards away. And Gould's kick is good. The 49ers lead 3-0 after their opening drive yields 3 points.
And if you want to get into Joe Montana's head, and make him not so as jovial as he used to be, is you have to be under pressure constantly. He's not as mobile as the backup quarterback, Steve Young. He can't really spin out of those, so get in front of him and take him down quick.
So much depth across the board for both the Steelers and 49ers. Rod Woodson on the return. He is bulldozed at the 15. And we'll have another look at Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. And when you look back at the series history between the Steelers and 49ers, you look back to a game in 1981. Here's Jerome Bettis on the handoff, who shakes through the first tackler all the way out to the 31, and the gain is 16. But the story in that game in 1981, Steelers had already won 4 championships under Chuck Noll, but then a 49er team came in to Three Rivers Stadium and beat the Steelers with plenty of the Hall of Famers. This pass is incomplete. Look at the AFC wildcard race. Cleveland Browns, who beat the Steelers last week, heavily in the mix. And the Colts, record of 9-5, chasing Houston Oilers and Tennessee Titans mix of teams. Here's Harris, who can't reel in the pass. 3rd and 10 on the way. Now look at this AFC playoff picture. So many teams in this mix and a lot of great teams involved.
With all of those teams there, I think those teams that are going to make it far into the playoffs too, especially with injury, those teams that have depth. You look at their quarterback position. If they have a Hall of Famer on the sidelines right now, you can imagine how big of an advantage they'll have, Danny.
Roethlisberger throws wide open. Johnny Stallworth. Enough for a first down for the Steelers.
Stallworth so good at that. You take a look at the replay, beats the first man on step, catches it, gets those toes in, and then is knocked out of bounds while also staying in control of that ball. And you're going to see a lot of those, especially from those 2 Hall of Famers in Stallworth and Swan.
He beat Jimmy Johnson. Franco Harris wrapped up for a loss. Dave Wilcox, another Hall of Famer, on the stop for San Francisco.
You oftentimes forget about that defensive line for San Francisco. So far, they've been holding the running game to a pretty slim margin with the exception of that one big run by the bus.
Ben throws incomplete. Merton Hanks broke up the play. Another look at the AFC playoff picture. And Titans, Oilers hanging in the mix. Miami also. As we head down the stretch, plenty of playoff implications at stake. Steelers with a win today would clinch the number 1 seed in the AFC. Roethlisberger's pass is caught by Stallworth inside the 20 and out of bounds of the 13.
And on so many of those teams, just so much talent from the all-time greats, from the 50s all the way up to the 2010s, Danny. It's so exciting to finally see these players get onto the gridiron and just battle it out.
Eric Green goes in motion. This is Franco Harris, stacked up at the line for a loss of 2. Patrick Willis caved in for the stop.
Expect a couple play fakes to Franco Harris. We've seen a lot of that 49er defensive line tackling him in the backfield. This is where we fake a pitch and then throw it to the end zone.
Uh-oh. After the false start penalty, 2nd and 16 for the Steelers within the outskirts of the 49er red zone. Roethlisberger. Look at the protection he has. Ben Roethlisberger decides to run and slides back to the original line of scrimmage, the 13.
Well, it's not often you see Big Ben decide to take off on a run, but whenever he sees a big opening like that, he's smart with it, and then he's going to slide down, prevent himself from being injured.
Roethlisberger rushes on. Pass caught. Heath Miller down to the 1.
That's one thing you don't really talk about with Ben is sometimes he's got a really, really quick release. And that right there, that throw is right on the money, right at the goal line. 1 yard to go.
Harris, the tailback. Franco Harris stacked up and stopped. Ken Norton Jr. caved in. Run defense for the 49ers. This looks to be the final play of the opening quarter. Roethlisberger, the pitch. Le'Veon Bell dropped for a loss. Navarro Bowman made the stop. We've reached the end of quarter number 1. 49ers lead the Steelers 3-0. We'll be back right after this on Charger Dude 95. Second quarter commences here from Candlestick. Danny Buck alongside Connor Focasano. 3rd and goal for the Steelers. Roethlisberger scans, hit as he throws, incomplete. And the field goal unit trots on for the Steelers. Sean Sleason. Field goal attempt from 25 yards away, and the kick is good. We are tied 3 apiece.
Great job
from the Bay.
San Francisco 49ers defense doing such a good job. They brought their safeties up towards the line of scrimmage, allowing them to get to those quick pitches, Danny, helping them to prevent the run.
Hugh McElhenney on the return for the 49ers. He's out to the 24. Joe Montana returns to the field. What do you expect from the Niners offense on this series?
Well, with Joe Cool, it's not often you see him in the shotgun position considering the West Coast offense back then, but we'll give it a shot here.
And they give it a shot. Pass caught underneath. Pass was complete to Billy Wilson. Brings up 2nd and 6.
We'll mix a new age offense with the old age. With the old West Coast offenses, quick throws. Quick shotgun throw there for Joe Montana on a slot.
Wilson, a receiver from the 50s. Frank Gore has the first down through the tee for the Steelers defense to move the chains for the 49ers.
And that's the Frank Gore we all know and love. Very tough, very sturdy. Just hand it up to him up the middle. If he gets those blocks, he can make those tacklers miss once he gets into the open field.
Gore brought down thanks to L.C. Greenwood. 2nd and 4 for San Francisco. 3 receivers split to the left, which includes the tight end George Kittle. Gore breaks through the first wave and has the first down for San Francisco.
Well, you know what they say, Danny, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So far, the last 3 running plays, Gore has gained more than 4 yards.
Do they look for an encore? No. Montana throws the middle for Jerry Rice. Gain of 2. Injured Steeler. Brings up 2nd and 8 for the 49ers. Back to throw Montana. Caught by Vernon Davis, who has the first down.
Well, after you ran it so successfully with Frank Gore up the middle, now you have those middle linebackers baited up. So you can have your tight end go up the middle like that, and there's going to be more open field for him to catch it. That's a great play call.
Owens in motion. Montana gives to Frank Gore, who lost the football. It's recovered by Mean Joe Green. And the Steelers come away with the turnover.
Well, you're going to expect a couple hard hits from these Steelers, especially with the steel curtain practically in the backfield right there. Frank Gore was clocked, lost the ball, and now it's Big Ben again with the pigskin.
Jack Lambert forced the fumble. Harris wrapped up. Carl Bowen again. 2nd and 12 for Pittsburgh. 49ers inching closer to an NFC West title. In a dead heat with the Rams, Franco Harris is stopped. 3rd and 13 on the way. San Francisco next travels to Seattle, while the Steelers take on the Rams. Roethlisberger throws, caught. Heath Miller. And he's near the sticks, and he has enough for a first down for Pittsburgh. Ben Roethlisberger able to find his tight end outlet that he used eloquently during his time with the Steelers. Here's handoff to Le'Veon Bell, and he's going nowhere. Dave Wilcox again. Closing stages of the first half. Here from Candlestick. Brown in motion. Roethlisberger. Look at the time he has, and he's able to connect with Antonio Brown. But he's well short of the first down. 3rd and 11 on the way for Steelers. Four-man front for San Francisco. This is Roethlisberger. Hit as he throws. Hines Ward with the catch and the first down, and plenty more. Hines Ward to the 20, to the 10, and down to the 7.
That's what Hines Ward is so good at, Danny. If we take a look here, he's going to go out, and he's really quick at immediately turning his legs and then going upfield. He's very fast, so once he gets that first block, he's going to get past all those defenders. Not much of a power guy, but he's really quick and can make those juke moves. An excellent play.
From the 6, Roethlisberger scans, looks, throws, knocked down, incomplete.
When you're this close to the end zone, coverage is going to be inside, because if you go into a prevent defense, you're close to the out-of-bounds line, so it's harder to make those passes and force them in. You got to be smart.
Harris, that did not look like a smart throw. Brings up 3rd and 6.
Well, they went for the screen there, and San Francisco was all over it. They had all of their safeties baited to the left side and said, hey, we want you to throw the screen.
Roethlisberger to the air. His pass caught. Miller, touchdown Steelers.
As I said before, you're going to have the defense kind of converge in that one little area. So you probably want to have your tight end go and streak towards where the end zone meets the grass. At that point, there's going to be more openings. You can just force it right in there, make the catch for the touchdown.
Extra point from Sweezum splits the uprights. And that touchdown from Heath Miller. Dave Wilcox had the coverage. Wilcox, a great run stopper. Not necessarily the same case when defending the pass. Steelers with a 10-3 lead. Here's the kickoff from Sean Sweezum. This is Deion Sanders. Greg Lloyd, first one to greet him at the 19. And Deion slow to get up. 100 seconds remain in the first half.
Well, Deion also pretty good on offense, too. It'll be interesting to see if San Francisco implements him into the offensive scheme today.
On first down, Montana finds an incompletion.
Very lucky for the offense. That ball was just airily, so slowly thrown. Fortunately, the defender went right off of his fingertips.
2nd and 10. Montana scans over the middle. Wilson the catch. Timeout called by the 49ers. 90 seconds to go. Montana scanning, throwing. Owens the catch. 80 seconds left. Uh-oh. Steelers offside. Montana. His pass. Caught. Kittle. Down to the 20. Uh-oh. James Harrison was offside. But the yardage sufficient to set up the 49ers.
Well, that's a huge advantage when you have only seconds to go to score a touchdown or even get 3 points. You can try to bait the defense to get that late flag. That way you have a free play for all of those receivers, and Terrell Owens and George Kittle and, of course, Jerry Rice.
Montana finds Rice. He sets up 1st and goal for the 49ers. And Jack Lambert slow to get up for the Steelers.
That will be a huge loss for Pittsburgh if he can't return into this game.
1:06 to go in the first half. Montana on a delay. Roger Craig is leveled by Troy Polamalu.
Looks like Roger Craig's hurt too, Danny. That looked like helmet to helmet.
2nd and goal for the 49ers. Montana. He throws to the end zone. Incomplete. 3rd and goal on the way.
It's a smart play. If nobody's open, you can find your 6'6" receiver in Terrell Owens, who's got that wide wingspan as well. Go for the jump ball.
3rd and goal. Montana. Billy Wilson. He's to the 1. Timeout called by the Steelers.
Here's that same play call. Tight end in the slot, then just goes into the middle. Make the defense converge up. And if you don't throw to your tight end, then you may have an open receiver back there in the end zone.
Here is a field goal attempt. Shortest distance you can find, 18 yards. Robbie Gould, and the kick is good. 10-6 game, the Steelers with the lead, inching our way towards halftime. Gould to kick off for San Francisco. And the Steelers with a win would clinch the number 1 seed in the AFC. San Francisco hoping to put a stranglehold on the Rams, at least stay in pace rather. Rams did win the first meeting between them and the 49ers this season. Roethlisberger goes deep, and the pass is intercepted by Jimmy Johnson. Johnson taken down at the 41.
Jimmy Johnson, he's such a talented cornerback. Take a look at this. He makes a wide receiver-esque catch right here. Over his shoulder, keeps his feet in bounds, and now the 49ers, they have a pair of timeouts left. They can easily make this drive with 39 seconds.
Montana. Pass is incomplete.
Or pardon me, they have a timeout, but they can also run up and spike it. Maybe get that flag if the defense can't get back on time again.
They can still use the middle of the field. 30 seconds to go in the first half. Back to throw Montana. Stands in the pocket and unleashes one, caught by Billy Wilson. In the field of play, 49ers hurry to the line of scrimmage. 24 seconds left. Montana, good protection. Caught. Wilson again. 18 seconds left in the half. And the 49ers continue to set up field goal attempt. Here's Robbie Gould's kick, and it is off the upright and good.
Well, how about Billy Wilson setting that up, Danny? You didn't really expect him to have such a game when you've got such depth with the wide receivers, but when you have a tight end like that and so much talent with the wide receivers, you're going to really have to leave a lot of your coverage off of at least one guy. And so far, it's been Billy Wilson. He's been open all game.
Antonio Brown decked with 2 seconds to go. Steelers presumably look to run out the final seconds of the half.
Yeah, they'll probably take a knee here.
Jerome Bettis is in the backfield for the Steelers. Eric Green in motion. This is Jerome Bettis. Brings us to halftime. The matchup we have long awaited for only has 1 point of separation. Steelers lead the 49ers at the half, 10-9. Start of the second half between Pittsburgh and San Francisco. Steelers with a 10-9 lead. Danny DeBock alongside Connor Focasano for half number 2 here in this Monday night affair. Kermit Alexander takes a knee in the end zone for a touchback. San Francisco's offense, no touchdowns, 3 field goals so far.
Well, they've been so good at driving the ball down the field, and you got to expect that with how talented they are with their depth, as Roger Craig gets the first down. And I'd like to see more of that, Danny. I'd like to see more handoffs to Roger Craig and kind of implementing the play action with him, too. He's such a huge weapon for the 49ers, be able to get a lot of those receivers wide open if they run the play fake.
Roger Craig, able to muster 5.
He uses high knees when he runs, and that allows him to shake off a lot of those first initial tackles at the line of scrimmage to gain more yards.
Montana from the shotgun. On 2nd and 5, Roger Craig on the handoff. Tracked down at the 38. TJ Watt made the stop for the Steelers. 6:27 to go in the third. On 3rd and 4, 49ers on their opening drive of the second half. Hugh McElhenney is stood up and stopped. James Harrison.
Number 39 gets the call on the run.
Confirmation, Andy Leon for the 49ers. Steelers, their first possession of the second half. Lee boots it away. Towering boot, heads out of bounds. Officially marked at the 40. 5:45 to go in the third quarter. Steelers offense returns to work. Ben Roethlisberger at the controls. Play action fake. Roethlisberger finds Le'Veon Bell. for 4.
Number 28 with the catch. Gain of 4.
2nd and 6 for the Steelers. Remember, greatest team season last year. Bettis on the handoff. A matchup between the 78 Steelers and 89 49ers. Won by Pittsburgh 21-14. San Francisco, to a different degree, looking for a factor of revenge tonight. Roethlisberger looks to the air. Pass caught by Lynn Swann, and he has enough for a Steeler first down.
And that's Lynn Swann's first reception of the day.
So much depth across the board for the Steelers receiving core. Roethlisberger on first down. Harris moves the pile forward for 6. 2nd and 4 for Pittsburgh. 3:50 to go in the third. Roethlisberger, his pass, Brown. 6-yard gain. Another first down for the Steelers.
And that's a quick curl route to the right side. With how powerful and how big Antonio Brown is, he can quickly turn around and get that jump ball.
Roethlisberger. Look at the protection he has. Ben Roethlisberger off his back foot, cut by Antonio Brown. All that for a gain of 3.
Well, this quarterback, he can do it all. I didn't expect anything like that, but showing his athleticism, spinning around, jumping up, and almost like a jump shot pass.
2nd and 7. Bell is drilled. Dave Wilcox again. From 2nd and medium to 3rd and long. Roethlisberger. Knocked down. Incomplete pass. The Steelers bring on Sean Sweezum for a 50-yard field goal attempt. Now the hold of Terry Bradshaw. Sweezum's kick is good.
Well, the Niners all game, Danny, they've been stopping the rush up the middle so well. And the reason being is because they're having their middle linebackers blitz. It's making Roethlisberger get under pressure, and when they hand it off, those middle linebackers are there through the hole to stop the run.
Hugh McElhenney out to the 23. 1:56 to go in the third. 49ers back to the well on offense. Such a competitive NFC. Greatest team season. Montana's pass caught by Billy Wilson for 2. And Wilson injured on the play.
Well, considering how great he's been all game, that could be a huge loss for San Francisco in these last few minutes.
2nd and 8. Montana. Caught by Roger Craig. And he is to the 30.
You can do so much with Roger Craig. You can hand it off, or you could have him just be a safety receiver by going into the open field to the side there. Just a quick little dump-off pass, and if he makes the catch, he can make a couple moves to get a few extra yards.
Back to throw, Montana. Rifles. Incomplete. 4th down on the way.
Looks like he was hit as he threw that one, Danny. That one went way up into the air and well out of bounds.
Steelers to get the football back. Here is Andy Lee in punt formation. Lee springs one. Antonio Brown on the return. All the way out to the 33. 1:04 to go in the third quarter. Steelers offense again to the well, nursing a 4-point lead against 5-time world champion 49ers. Roethlisberger is sacked. Nick Bosa was in on the rush. And making the sack for San Francisco in the end was Justin Smith.
Just another example of making those linebackers blitz right up the middle.
Roethlisberger, Bell regained some of the yardage that was lost. 3rd and 14 on the way.
Le'Veon Bell pretty much silent tonight with his ball carries.
Final play of the quarter is a deep ball from Ben Roethlisberger. That is incomplete. That brings us to the end of the third quarter. The fourth from Candlestick. on deck after this on Charger Dude 95. Start of the fourth quarter from Candlestick. DeBock alongside Connor Focasano. Punt formation for the Steelers and Jordan Berry. Boots one away. Hugh McElhenney on the return. All the way to the 36. 49ers haven't scored a touchdown yet. But a touchdown provide massive dividends for the Niners. Montana, his pass is incomplete with hopes of Terrell Owens.
It's not often that you see Montana miss a pass like that, especially when he had all day to release the throw. He's a very timing-esque quarterback. You don't really see mistakes like that happen so much.
Gore for one. Big third down on the way.
Yeah, it's the first big stop that Pittsburgh has had on Frank Gore. 3rd and 9 is going to force San Francisco to have to pass it.
They do pass it. And it's intercepted by Mel Blount. Blount on the interception return past the 40, out of bounds at the 28.
Well, Mel Blount was in a zone read there, Danny. He had that entire half of the field to Montana's left side. So all he has to do is drop back, read Montana's eyes, and by the time he's released that ball, he just had to jump up and make the easy catch.
And who is Montana going for? Jerry Rice.
None other than Jerry Rice, the man you'd expect to want to have the ball, especially this late in the game when you're behind.
It's been rather silent since that big catch in the first quarter. Franco Harris on the handoff, and he's hurt. 7:05 to go in the fourth.
We'll try to get that injury update for you as quick as possible.
Injury report, provide details. Roethlisberger, look at the time he has. Brown able to extend for a first down.
Man, Ben Roethlisberger really forcing that into double coverage. But again, with a man like Antonio Brown, that tall and with how high he can jump with that vertical, it's very likely that he's going to get the ball, even if he is double or even triple teamed.
The pitch, Bell stood up at the line. Merton Hanks made the stop.
Well, with Bell, they've tried running up the middle, a couple halfback dives, they've tried a couple pitches, and so far nothing's working. It'll be interesting to see if they put him maybe in the slot. Have a couple curl routes to the inside, perhaps.
2nd and 12 for the Steelers.
That also takes some pressure off of Antonio Brown. He's had a game tonight.
A lot of usage in this game. Bell. Good tackle. Fred Warner. 5:30 to go in regulation time. Jerome Bettis again. Gain of 3. Sean Sweezum. Field goal attempt from 34 yards away. And Sweezum notches one through. And the Steelers lead by 7 with 4:48 to go.
And that's the best you can ask for from that San Francisco defense. Interception, putting them in great field goal position, or great field position. They only force a field goal.
Deion Sanders. Flag down.
Holding by the receiving team. First down.
So after the holding call, 1st and 10 for the 49ers, 92 yards away from the tie. Back to throw Montana. He's got plenty of time, and he throws an incompletion.
The pass falls incomplete. Number 81.
T.O., the intended target. 2nd and 10. Montana to throw. T.O. on the catch. Loss of 2.
Yeah, they tried the bubble screen. Pittsburgh was all over it. Those blocks were not able to solidify. Terrell Owens was already wrapped up before he even had the ball.
On 3rd and 12, Montana. His pass is incomplete. 4th down on the way.
Well, you know, it's in desperation time when they put Joe Montana into the shotgun.
Not typical fixture in the West Coast Conference, as Andy Lee sends us Punt to Antonio Brown, past midfield to the 40. And Brown out to the 39 of San Francisco.
13-yard gain on the play.
3:52 to go. How big would a field goal be for Pittsburgh? Leading by 7. Harris back in the game. And he reaches the line of scrimmage. May have lost a yard.
On the run, no gain on the play.
Tick, tick, tick. 3:20 to go. Harris again. Off right tackle. 3rd and 7. Now you don't want to bring yourself out of Sean Sweezum field goal range here. See what the Steelers elect to do. Le'Veon Bell. And he is stopped at the 35. Sean Sweezum on for a 52-yard field goal attempt to virtually ice the game. Snap set down. Sweezum's kick is short. And the 49ers have life.
Well, that last stop was all San Francisco needed. As you can see, the pigskin missing that goalpost by mere inches. Stopping them at the goal line, Le'Veon Bell, and the Niners have life.
Montana, rush coming. Rice, the catch. Jerry Rice. Great open field tackle from Dunny Shell.
Well, the bubble screen didn't work on the left side in their last drive, so let's bring it to the right side to Jerry Rice, and it was starting to form.
Montana from the shotgun. Montana scans the field, and he tucks and runs. Joe Montana with a first down rush for the 49ers. They hurry to the line of scrimmage, though. Montana scanning, looks, sets, fires. It is Kittle along the sideline. He doesn't bring it in.
And with 1:41 left and 2 timeouts, and Joe Cool, it's almost as if San Francisco has an eternity to get this into the end zone.
Montana looks over the field and throws. Incomplete. Remember last week against the Cardinals? Didn't need much time to throw that game-winning touchdown to T.O. Could we see heroics again for the 49ers? Montana, incomplete. 4th and 10 on the way.
Well, and another dropped interception by the Steelers. That's, from what I'm counting, 2 dropped interceptions. We'll see if that has a huge impact on this game.
4th and 10. Back to throw, Montana. He heaves it deep towards the end zone. It is caught. Owens, is he in? He did not bring it in. A turnover on downs.
2 weeks in a row, Danny. It's a game of inches, and this time that left foot barely went out of bounds, and even then his right foot touched it too.
31 seconds left. Montana throws. Davis the catch. He is inbounds. 49ers scramble to the line of scrimmage. On 2nd and 4, Montana spikes to stop the clock. 3rd and 4 on the way. Montana throwing, intercepted by Jack Lambert. And the Steelers clinch the AFC's #1 seed.
And considering their history, I don't know if there's anything more Pittsburgh Steeler than that. Jack Lambert with the clinching interception gives them the division. And they're going to have home field advantage throughout these playoffs. What a great game. All out.
The Steelers, #1 seed in the AFC with a 16-9 victory against the San Francisco 49ers. What a response for the Steelers after their loss to Cleveland last week. San Francisco, the NFC West, adds another chapter to an already truncated season. For all of us here on Charge U 95, for Connor Focasano, I'm Danny Buck saying so long and take care, and thanks for being with us. Your final score, the Steelers 16, the 49ers 9.